Hi, Jeran Yilun here. I had a few weeks back posted about the passing of my father, and this is just a message to share with my loved ones, with my friends, and people who care about me, that something really, really heartbreaking has happened, and I feel very frustrated, very heartbroken, and it has caused me great suffering, has added to the suffering that I had felt all these years. And unfortunately, this relates to the state of Denmark. Although I know it doesn't, it's really not about the state of Denmark, it's about the state of affairs that is currently plaguing our society and has plagued humanity all these centuries, maybe. But this is not about that. It's really just about my own suffering, and just wanted to let people know and share my sentiments and my thoughts on this. So just to recap, I lost my father more than 2 months ago, and I wanted to go visit his grave. Couldn't make it to the funeral, unfortunately, and I wanted to naturally, as you can imagine, visit his grave that is in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I applied for a visa, and recently I got rejected on the grounds that I'm applying from Turkey, and they do not grant visas to Turkey currently. This is what I'm saying has nothing to do with the views of the current government of Turkey. I do not represent anyone. I do not represent any government, any institution for that matter. I only represent myself. I am speaking for myself, and this is mainly about my emotions. I just find it really ironic that years and years ago, my father sought refuge in Denmark and was accepted as a political refugee, because I understand that that was, at that time, the clever thing to do for Denmark, to accept refugees, political refugees from Turkey. But currently, it's not the clever thing to do, to accept the visa application of someone who's really intending to stay for a week in Copenhagen just to visit their father's grave, who is, by the way, a well-educated 40-year-old woman who's a psychologist. Interestingly enough, she is a developmental psychologist working on building the skills of young people, like empathy and communication and respect for diversity. That's what I do. I develop programs and work with young people so that they can build these skills, so that in the future they do not treat other people as, like, I'm not going to use the word, as numbers, as just objects that are unimportant as part of the grander scheme of things. Because the explanation, by the way, I do appreciate the Embassy of Denmark. Kudos to you for drafting such a long explanation, trying to justify to me that I do not deserve to enter your territory. It just, that it doesn't make sense to me. I lost my father. There had been great suffering related to Denmark, because as a little girl, my father had gone to Denmark, leaving me and my mom behind. And that was something painful for me. And years after that event, my father passes away, and now I can't go there because of who knows. It just happens to be a coincidence that there's great diplomatic crisis right now between Turkey and Denmark. But I also do know that it is not a coincidence what's happening. I'm just part of the state of affairs. I'm just a number. This just had to happen diplomatically, and yet I had to voice my sentiments, my frustration, and my suffering that was caused by a human being. There's actually a name of someone. Of course, I'm not going to name any names here. Someone who works at the Danish embassy was probably thinking they're doing the right thing by rejecting my visa application, by abiding by the rules and doing the right thing. But this is wrong. This is totally wrong. It is not right to deny a visa from someone who just intends to visit the grave of their parents. I do think it's against human rights, actually. I just needed to let people know, people who care about me know about this. And this is also just a call to all of my diplomat people. I said my because I used to actually work with diplomats for quite some time. I worked at a diplomatic mission in Istanbul, in a visa section, actually. I know about the business of visas, and that I know that it is a business, which means countries make money out of it. So the fact that the Danish embassy didn't deny me the right to apply because I paid some money. They did make money out of it. But then they said, well, actually, we deny tourist visas these days. Sorry. So we'll take your money, but please do know that we will not give you the service. We just wanted to take your money. I do feel like I was humiliated. I feel very frustrated. Again, this is not a diplomatic or a political statement. It's a personal statement. But I needed everyone to know that I cannot go visit my father's grave because I was denied a visa. Well, thanks for listening.